I'm comfy as I'm ready for it.
Well, listen, thanks for taking the time to do this. Really appreciate it, particularly as obviously today is an incredibly important day. First things first, how has it been going? In my head, I picture from the moment you wake up, it's non-stop messages, statistic checking, just
yeah.
everything. Is it actually like that for you?
Yeah, mate. Like, so obviously we had like the vinyls like pre-ordered, and I haven't got one yet. I'm hopefully going to get one soon, but it's pretty cool that they've all arrived today for a lot of my mates. So they're sending me videos of like them giving it a spin. Yeah, it's been pretty. Phone's been blowing up all day. Yeah, we're just stoked. It's really nice.
How do you feel about it though? Like, is it kind of relief, or is it just like, you know what, we've been waiting this long, it's out now, it's out in the world, and maybe you're going to come back and look at it properly in a couple of weeks when the dust has settled to sort of see how people have reacted to it?
I think it's very much the first one. Like, obviously we started writing like the first couple of tunes off it like 3 years ago. We recorded it at like late 2020, so we've been like sort of itching to get it out for quite a while, and because of COVID and stuff like that, it's been pushed back like repeatedly, but because of that we've had time to do like a lot of behind the scenes stuff, do like some tease it to, you know, to the end, so everyone's just like, when it came out today, everyone was like all fully like necessarily hyped and everything. Yeah.
Having that extra time, I know most of it was, well, all of it was forced because of the last 2 years, but having that extra time, that extra build, is that something you think, you know what, that worked really, really well, we really enjoyed doing that, we would continue to do that in the future rather than putting potentially arbitrary timeframes on things that might make you feel rushed?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think we with the campaign of the record, we had like lots to do and lots of time to do it, because of those like postponements. But I think the main thing is, so like when we recorded it, we then went label shopping.
Yeah.
We sent it to like 100 emails. We made like a spreadsheet and everything. And the guys at Lockjaw, like especially Rob and Leslie, like they've been really like helping us do that extra push, and they've been very supportive that way. So I think the next time round it will be a bit easier.
Yeah.
So it was nice to take that extra time, but I don't think we all need that extra time next time. So
yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing as well, considering it was forced, nobody really wanted to be in the situation that we were, particularly if you wrote, let's say, songs over 3 years ago. Keeping that in mind, should I say. These songs obviously are incredibly fresh for the fan base. Brand new EP, it's out today, you can listen to it in full, but for yourselves, obviously you've been sitting in with it for a while. I don't want to say, are you sick of hearing them, but does a release, when it's actually put out there, does it refresh the EP, the music in your mind?
Yeah, for sure. Like I would give it a spin like every month or something for like the past year anyway.
Yeah.
We just had it. But we had like a private SoundCloud link. And listening to it on like Spotify today was a lot nicer, because we tried to do like a Pink Floyd thing in the studio where every song trails into the next one, and then the last song trails back into the intro track, and those transitions were like a lot clearer than on like SoundCloud where it will stop and then it will.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So that was cool, and then we did like, you know, like they've got the little animations when you're playing it. So it was nice to see it all looking professional and like proper, instead of just like listening to like the tunes. Like the full package is just like, it's making it feel like extra special and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to hear it in that style then, because obviously the version I heard was a pre-release. and had this situation, as you said, with the stop-start. So I've not heard this sort of clear, full-flowing track-to-track thing.
Oh right, yeah. It was yeah, it was one like a little sort of Easter egg sort of, like we thought like, oh, some people will notice, some people won't. Either way, we thought it was cool. And then like we had to do like a special one on the vinyl, because you've obviously got to flip it. So we got rid of the reverb at the start of the side, the second side, and like, so like there was loads of stuff to think about, but we like I think we covered everything, and like, so we pulled it off well, I think.
There's a lot of little fun little elements that kind of people just don't either notice as much or don't pay as much attention to when it comes to the creation of the music and putting it online and on vinyl and all that. So hearing these little touches, it makes you smile. It's fun.
Yeah, like it can either be overlooked, or the little, or like music nerds like I'm presuming us, you know, will just hear it and go like, oh, did you know that, blah 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 blah, and like, yeah. Nice.
Of course, if people don't know, it is called Temple Corrupted, and it is out today via Lockjaw Records. Now, going back then, because we've had a couple of years, and obviously the effect on the record is clear. We've already talked about a little bit about that. But the effect on El Moono overall, the pandemic, the COVID situation, going back, say, over 2 years ago, how have you guys held up during it?
Held up during what?
The last 2 years.
Well, yeah, it was obviously it's been pretty tough for everyone. So like the themes that we explore on this record were very touching base with us on a personal level. Like we all felt a bit like isolated from each other. I mean, like we still tried to, like, you know, keep our heads above water and like try and still doing stuff. And that's when like a big chunk of the meat of the record like was created by sending each other demos back and forth, and we all recorded demos of it separately. Yeah, because we all like felt the effects of it. So when Zach does like the lyrics primarily, but when we were recording it with it, he'd go through the lyrics with us, and like we'd just go like, oh, I like this bit, or like I like this bit but change that bit, and then like, so it felt like we all like voiced ourselves on it instead of just like lyrically. Yeah.
A reflection of the band's voices rather than one individual, because obviously normally a vocalist or whoever's writing the lyrics tends to reflect potentially their feelings and thoughts, but you're suggesting or saying that this EP, it's the band's voices more than anything else.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, for sure, like Zach, it's primarily his words, his like ideas, his muse, and like inspiration, all that. But obviously it's got our name on the tin, so like I think he just wants to make sure that we were okay with, you know, branding ourselves with these words, and it was nice that he let us have a bit of input. So he's saying what we're all thinking, basically, for sure. Yeah.
And for you personally, then, how comfortable are you with kind of expressing yourself, even if it's, like I said, it's his words, but it's your feelings? How comfortable are you expressing those feelings?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm pretty comfortable expressing those, like, and chatting about some of the themes on the EP. I think like it was a bit easier, like speaking through the songs, and as opposed to like chatting how you and I would be now, like, because then it's just all there, you know what I mean? But yeah,
obviously the EP, the themes around it, particularly to depression, anxiety, mental health. The expectation, I think, from a lot of people in January, February, March 2022, this time, is that these themes are often going to reflect the last 2 years, not necessarily a bigger picture. How much of it a bigger picture is it for El Moono, or is it predominantly how you've been feeling the last couple of years?
I think yeah, I think we, like, you know, like the issues that we sort of touch base on, like with the mental health, like stigma and like race and stuff like that, has been just put into perspective by like sort of the last couple of years with like the growing, with just like lockdown, the whole the BLM movement. Like I think it's just it's always been a thing, but I think it's just been put into the limelight recently in the past couple of years. So the timing just seems good to voice about it now then.
I get that. Even more so it seems these days. And now obviously I don't think we want to get too political, but considering current times in this country, things, you know, if I can't help but think, wow, if this is what inspired your writing style for the past 3 years, what the hell would inspire now, considering, you know, so societal corruption, mental health, the effect all that has it, and things like that. I'd imagine for you guys, is it almost too much to kind of wade through?
I mean, yeah, like obviously, like if we feel like, you know, something's you know, we feel passionate about, it gets us, you know, fired up. So the way things have been going, the way things might continue to go, will probably be fuel for the fire for you know, the next release, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely will have something to say, I imagine.
Yeah, I'd imagine so as well. And it'd be a very, very exciting time, because there is the natural inclination, even though we're here talking about an EP release now, when you know that the music was written such a period ago, that the expectation is, well, hey, what's going on now? We might ask that at the end, but for now, Temple Corrupted. I mean, I personally, this resonated quite heavily with me. I kind of went in without knowing much about you guys and came away absolutely blown away. It's currently, and I know it's only February, the best EP of the year, for sure. No way to go, of course, but there you go. And it's just that connection that I found with that. It certainly resonated with me. Have you had a lot of that back feedback-wise, be it, I guess, Facebook comments, YouTube comments, and all of that, where people are saying that, you know, the content and the concept is resonating with them?
Yeah. I think on the majority, it's been like feedback from like mates. Like, you know, we've had like a couple mates we showed it to, like pre-release, like showed you the whole thing, and they were like, yeah, this is something that I'm feeling, or like I was feeling but I didn't know it. And that's been just nice to hear, because you I mean, like you know, like when you listen to your favorite bands, and like I would listen to them and I'm like, oh, I get what you're saying on like a personal level. So it's nice to be on the other end of that, and like be making music that speaks to people so personally. Yeah.
Well, it's the dream, isn't it, really, to have that connection with anyone out there via your music. But does it matter to you? So, for example, if there were two fans and one said, it really connects to me and I feel this because of it, and the other says, well, I don't really connect to it, but I fucking love it and I like headbanging to it, and so on. Do you see them both as like, yep, that's both excellent results?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the first would like that would feel extra special, you know what I mean? Because it feels like you've embellished that person like in like such a way. But like if you're just like, yo, I like riffs, like that's also equally as cool. Like if you rate it that way. Yeah, they're both like cool feedback to get, for sure. Yeah.
Basically, enjoy the album as you want. Just make sure you do actually like it, because you will. I'd be very surprised if anyone who gives this the time doesn't walk away absolutely in love with it. some of the nuances then. And what I kind of want to ask about is obviously as press, and I use that in inverted commas because we don't call ourselves press, when we get a release and we see things like ancient churches, tracked in an ancient church and all that, and it's like, well, okay, it's quite unique and it's quite eye-grabbing. But what makes that important for you? For example, what did it do? What did it do for you guys mentally? What did it do for you personally that you think you noticed in the sound? And where was this church?
So it's called the Old Chapel in Chichester. It was a cool recording experience. Like I think we already had the first song, which was Forced to Smile, I think, the one in the middle. We tracked that in the Bookhouse in Bermondsey, with a chap called Tom Hill. Like and it started, that was just before we got locked down in February 2020. And we saw this thing, and it was like free recording session, pay what you want sort of thing. And then we were like, oh, we'll just go in there and track a demo. And Tom smashed it so much that we were just like, oh, we'll keep it. So after that, we went to Old Chapel with our producer Sam, and it was like the first live-in studio that we'd ever been to. So we were there for about 5 days, and that was cool because you probably woken up at like 7 a.m. by some drums, because like you just hear it, or a guitar, loud guitar. So you sort of wander downstairs and work's already begun. And then and then we just we go across the road to the pub at the end of the day and chat more. Like we were always still working around it, like we were chatting about lyrics and stuff over the road, and then we come back, and then so it felt like it was a cool experience where like the whole week there wasn't a moment of time that we weren't really doing something for the EP. Yeah, and it was like I guess like that sort of church sort of vibe did like add to the sound. I guess we got inspired by that. I mean, we did have a big chunk of stuff done before we got there, but then we did there was some stuff that we came up with while we were there. Stuff like the intro, the Wild Hunt, which was a pretty spooky thing anyway. I think we had like the base of that, but I think just coming like that coming alive was definitely like an atmosphere that like added to that.
It sounds incredible. I mean, effectively, like the equivalent, I guess, of going on holiday for 5 days. However, your only focus is not to relax, so to speak, but your only focus was the EP. So, like your headspace and being in that constant mind frame must have been incredible, but exhausting.
Yeah. I mean, like sort of. I think because normally we all have 2 days or something, and we're just rushing through it, whereas because we were doing full days, like 7 till 10 or whatever, we could take our time with it a bit more, or we'd be spending an hour on something and then we'll do it a bit differently, or we were messing around with all the toys that they had in the studio. There was a big box of pedals and pianos and different amps, and we did like try everything out and take our time on it. So it wasn't too exhausting. So we could like sort of still go at our own pace, really. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. I do like when you describe the idea of boxes of toys. It just create an image of Disneyland for musicians.
Yeah.
What's this door? What's in here? That's wonderful.
Yeah, there was stuff that was like, oh, we're gonna we're gonna try it because it's there, and like we wouldn't have thought to use it if it wasn't there. Like stuff like the glockenspiel,
Ah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
okay. So brought on a new level of experimentation. Has that inspired you, I guess, as well to continue that level of experimentation as you go forward?
Yeah. I mean, like we're a pretty eclectic bunch, both on like a personality wise and like musically, like music we listen to. So we always try and keep like have a mess about creatively. Mess around with some sounds that like are not they're very abstract, you know what I mean? So I think I mean, this is probably like the first time we've got to showcase that compared to previous releases, but we'll definitely be continuing that later. Actually, you just said that. I've just spotted something. I'm gonna try and worm it in on the next one. So here we go. So my mum's Australian.
Yeah.
And she got me a
Oh my
didgeridoo
goodness me.
for my birthday. I can't play it yet, but yeah, hopefully for the next one, maybe didgeridoo intro, something like that.
Oh, absolutely. You don't hear it much, but when it's used right, I think it always stands out. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think also they did that Carnival did like a live stream concert. Was it last year or the year one before? And they had like a didgeridoo player, and I was like, oh, that's cool, that. But yeah, we're always trying to keep things fresh and funky and weird, for sure.
Yeah, it's what makes you guys so very, very exciting. Considering the last couple of years of the pandemic, right? Every band, from the biggest to the smallest, has suddenly become or been forced to become really good at social media, whether it be tracking campaigns online, live streams, just generally talking to fans out there. How good do you think El Moono are at doing this? And also, is it something that you guys actually enjoy? Because social media and being on there can be very difficult for a lot of people.
For sure. I mean, Zach and Jamie work in like marketing, PR, so they're already whizzes at that. It's kind of a bit of relief because I mean, I don't think I'd be too good at it. But I'm very lucky that they're so good at it. Yeah, man, it's just like sign of the times, you know what I mean? Sort of, it's cool because it means that, like, you know, like if you're talking 40 years ago, 50 years ago, like bands had to be like what's the word, like you had to sort of have like a lot of backing to get noticed and stuff, whereas now it's a double-edged sword because like now you have the opportunity to get yourself like out there and noticed without that backing. But I guess if you don't have like the social media presence, that you can be a really good band and still like not get your stuff seen by the right fans or the right people. Yeah, very lucky that Zach and Jamie, they're very, very on it with the social media. Quality content, all looking aesthetic. Yeah, for sure.
Basically, you got your own in-house social media managers. That's that's great because it's difficult.
Yeah, big time. They get what's going on in the contemporary, so they're very, they smash it.
Good stuff. How about live then? What's the score going on there? You know, I know it's still very difficult. In this country, things are getting better, but beyond this country and out into the world, there's the real problem, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, like playing live is probably our favorite part of the whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we've done a lot, like heaps of gigs since we came back. I think we did our first one July. Was it last year?
Yep.
Or was the year before? I can't remember. Yeah, but no, it was last year. Yeah, we've done about 40 gigs since.
Amount since.
Yeah, I think it's getting a bit difficult because there's like quite a backlog of gigs that have been postponed. So sometimes it's hard to find the slots. But we have our boys Matt and Karen from Boneyard Promotions. They sort us out for us. So yeah, we don't have to worry too much. But like yeah, we're hoping to get out and like promote it very, very soon. As you're saying, beyond that, like I'm not sure how like if Europe or anything will be on the cards soon. I don't know. Obviously Brexit will make it a bit more difficult. We did go out in Europe a few years ago, and they were probably some of the funnest shows we've done. So it would definitely be nice to do that again for sure.
Yeah, I hope you do manage to get it live. I mean, what you said at the start there, the booking up of venues and postponement tours and so on seems like it's going to cause chaos for the next year or two. I mean, festival lineups, for example, as well. If you guys were trying to get on a festival lineup this year, I don't know how much luck you're going to have purely because of the holdover of last year and the year before.
For sure, yeah. It's going to be an uphill battle for sure, yeah. But
I think you guys are up for it, though, right?
We'll get some stuff sorted out for sure. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's all. It's all you can do. And for now, the EP's there. Go listen to it, Harry. Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
No worry, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror, and heavy metal. What else is life for?